Hi, my name is Sabrina Schembri, and today I'm going to be discussing architectural concrete. I'm going to talk about what that means, when it was first implemented, and different ways of producing such concrete. So, architectural concrete is concrete that's been manipulated to be more aesthetically pleasing so that it can be used for like the facades of buildings and for interior, and not just for the structural aspects of a building. This can be achieved by changing the texture, changing the color, and I'll discuss some of the various ways that you can do that. So in the past, concrete wasn't used for the facades of buildings because people thought it was unappealing and plain. Concrete is also susceptible to cracking over time, which isn't something that people in the 1800s really wanted to deal with. It was expensive to maintain and could potentially be dangerous. But in the 1900s, the architect Le Corbusier was actually one of the first people to take concrete and use it as an architectural material. And he basically did this by experimenting with the manipulation of the structural properties of concrete so that it could be used on the facades of buildings and interior. He used smooth off-the-form concrete for his buildings, which is when the concrete is left exposed without using extra surface treatments. And in order to have concrete that is sufficient for this type of finish, the water cement ratio needs to be pretty strong, which is about 0.4%, and the concrete has to be vibrated sufficiently to ensure that everything is smooth. So, since architectural concrete has to do with making the concrete more aesthetically pleasing, you can manipulate the texture in a few different ways. So, an example is by using sandblasting to create a matte finish. You can also change up the texture by rubbing abrasive stones on the concrete, grinding it smooth, or using toothed masonry hammers to change the texture. There are also different kinds of finishes that you can get when you change up the texture of your concrete. So one example is exposed aggregate finish by water washing. And you achieve this finish by adding chemical retarders to the formwork itself. And this will retard the hardening of the surface concrete. And it'll be like kind of like a cement paste. Then you're gonna power wash it or pressure wash it to remove the layer and expose the coarse aggregates, and that's how you get that finish. You can also remove that surface layer of concrete by doing acid etching, which is the process of removing the cement paste with hydrochloric acid, and you can achieve other patterns and textures by using lining, like form liners, and these attach directly to the formwork with the pattern that you want. Then you can get different kinds of form liners that are single use or repeat use, made of different materials, but they're usually made of polymers so that they can attach and reattach easily. You can also change the color of your concrete by adding optional admixtures into your regular concrete mixture. And you can add pigments, dyes, paints, sealers. All of these things can be added to change the color and the gloss of the surface, and also ensure that your surface is being protected from weather, dirt, wear, and other outside forces that may affect them. To keep the color consistent from batch to batch, it's recommended that you use white Portland cement in your mixture. This makes the colors easier to see and easier to mix, and if you're on like a big project where you're going to have a lot of concrete, it makes like the colors consistent throughout, and it looks better than when you use gray Portland cement, but it is more expensive, which is one of like the pros and cons of using architectural concrete. But yeah, that's basically all that I have to say about architectural concrete. And I hope that you took something away from that. Thank you.